Hello class, welcome to lesson 3.6, which is all about adding and subtracting unlike fractions. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to add unlike fractions and subtract unlike fractions. So let's start by finding the sum. So unlike fractions, remember, mean that they don't have the same denominator. So if I look here, my first denominator is 21 and my second denominator is 7. Those two numbers don't match, so that means I need to get a common denominator in order to add them together. So I start by looking at the numbers 21 and 7, and that I know that 7 can go into 21. So I just have to think, what do I have to multiply 7 by in order to get to 21? I have to multiply 7 by 3 in order to get to 21. So if I multiply the bottom by 3, I have to multiply the top by 3. So then I can look at this and say I have 15 21sts and 9 21sts. If I add those together, I add the top, which is 24 over 21, and then I want to simplify that because my numerator is now bigger than my denominator. So I know 21 can go into 24 one time, and there are 3 left over. So my answer is 1 and 3 21sts. Now this next problem, 1/4 plus 5/8, again, different numbers on the bottom. I need them to match. 4 I can multiply to get to 8. So 4 times 2 will give me 8. So if I multiply the bottom by 2, I have to multiply the top by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Now I have 2/8 plus 5/8, which is 7/8. And that can't simplify any further, so I am done. Now let's practice finding the sum when we also have whole numbers in front. So there are a couple of different ways you can do this. When you're adding, it's really easy because you could rewrite this as 4 plus 12 plus 5/6 plus 1/7. And you can kind of treat it as two different problems. So this would be 16 plus, and then I have to figure out what 5/6 plus 1/7 is. Since 6 and 7 are not the same number, I need to get a common denominator. So 6, let's talk about multiples of 6. It'd be 6, 12, 18, 24, 32, 30, 36, 42, 48, and I can keep going, but I think I already have a match. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. So I see that 42 is what my common denominator can be. And that was 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to do multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by 7. And then for 7, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the 6th number. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by 6. So 5 times 7 is 35. And 1 times 6 is 6. If I add those two together, I get 41 over 42. That can't be simplified at all. So then my final answer would just be 16, 41 over 42. And that's my final answer. All right, let's look at this second problem here. Now I have I have a negative sign here. So I can, again, rewrite it. I can do -1 plus 7, which is negative 6. And then I need to figure out how to get 5 ninths plus 11 twelfths to work out. So again, if I look at these numbers, and so 12 times 1 would be 12. 9 doesn't go into 12. 12 times 2 would be 24. 9 doesn't go into 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 9 does go into 36. So I'm going to do 12 times 3 for that fraction. And then in order to get to 36, I have to multiply 9 by 4. So then this would become, that 5 times 4 would be 20 over 36 plus 33, because 11 times 3 over 36, and that is 53 over 36. Now if I simplify that, 53 over 36. 36 goes into 53 one time with 17 left over. And the way I got that 17 was I did 53 minus 36. Okay, so I have negative, that'd be a positive 6, plus 1 plus 17 36. So I have 7 and 17 36 as a final answer. I know this can take some practice to get used to it, but hopefully it's not too bad. Then we have 9 tenths minus 5 eighths. Again, when you're subtracting, you still need a common denominator, okay? So 10 and 8, I'm trying to think what numbers 10 and 8 both go into. So I'd have 10, 8 does not go into 10, 8 does not go into 20, 8 does not go into 30, but 8 does go into 40. And that's 8 times 5. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 5. And then to go from 10 to 40, I multiply by 4. So 9 times 4 is 36. And 5 times 5 is 25. So 36 minus 25 leaves me with 11 over 40. And I look to see, can I reduce that number? I can't, so that is my final answer. All right, so for this next one, I have 7 ninths minus 5 sixths. So I, again, need to find a common denominator. So if I look at what do they have in common, I'd have 9, 18. 6 doesn't go into 9, but 6 does go into 18. So I can do 9 times 2. And that means I can do 7 times 2. That means I have 14 eighteenths minus 6 goes into 18 3 times. So 5 times 3 is 15 over 18. 14 minus 15 is a negative 1 over 18. Or you can write it as negative 1 over 18. It's the same number. Either way, I'll accept both answers. All right, now let's practice finding the difference with whole numbers out front. So this is where things get a little trickier. In the past, I've seen students have the most success if they turn these into improper fractions first. So whenever you are subtracting, I would suggest turn it into an improper fraction. So that means that I'm going to multiply 6 times 9 is 54, and then add 1. So 6 times 9, 54, plus 1 is 55 sixths, minus 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34 fifths. Now that I have a fraction minus a fraction, I solve it just like I did the last problem. So I need to find a common denominator. So 6 and 5, let's see. 6 would be 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Okay, so that was my fifth number. So I'm going to multiply both top and bottom by 5. And then 5 times 6 gets me to 30. So 55 times 5 is 275, and it's totally okay to use a calculator here. Minus 34 times 6 is 204 over 30. So 275 minus 204 is 71. 30 over 30. If I reduce that, 30 can go into 71 2 times, right? And then there would be 11 left over. So my answer is 2 and 11/30. All right, now it's the same idea, but I have a negative up front as well, okay? So I need to make sure I carry that down with my fraction. 13 times 4 is 52, plus 3 is 55. So I have negative 55 over 13 minus 5. Oh, not 5, sorry. We are changing that, right, to an improper fraction. Got a little carried away there. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 2. All right, now we're going to add that together. So I have a negative 55. Oh, we're not adding it together yet because I don't have a common denominator. So 2 does not go into 13, but if I change the 13 to 26, that's an even number, so 2 goes into it. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2, and I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 13 over here. So 55 times 2 is negative 110 over 26, minus 11 times 13 is 143 over 26. So if I do negative 110 minus 143, I'm left with negative 253 over 26. So if I do negative 253 divided by 26, I get negative 9, and then I have a decimal there. And the reason I did that on my calculator was just to figure out how many times that was, how many times it can completely go in there. So then 26 times 9 is 234. So I say 253. Oh, I'm apparently scribbling. 253 minus 234, right? Because 26 times 9 is 234. So 253 minus 234 is 19. So I have 19/26 left. And that is your final answer. Okay, I know that this just takes a lot of practice and it can feel really tedious. Like, you guys are probably going to ask me, do we really have to do this? The answer is yes. It might not be your favorite lesson, and that's okay, but you do have to learn how to do it, and I know you can. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you, and I hope you guys have a great day.